it's a mindset. Money shouldn't be the motivating factor.
Yeah.
No. Money shouldn't be the motivating factor. If money is, then there's a problem. If money is, then you lose sight of what you are actually offering the client, which is value, which is a solution to their problem. So money shouldn't be the motivating factor, but you also have to make money from what you do.
Yeah.
The creative mind is actually a muscle. The more you feed it, the more it builds up. The more you feed it, the more it builds up. What you should rather seek to do is understand the rules, the technicality sounding what you are doing, the craft you are learning. Understand them first. And when you understand them, then you will be able to feel free and go outside of the box, break it anyhow. And but when it has to make sense. If it doesn't, it will come for you. You should see challenges as another level for you to develop, for you to grow. Because like I said, as you go on and on, as you improve on yourself, as you learn, there are some experiences that will teach you. They're just there as lessons for you to learn from. And it's important you learn the lesson for which that challenge came.
True.
Or else you repeat the class.
Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Unscripted with Raygan. And on today's episode, we have an interesting personality, a filmmaker who goes by the name Kwesi Dickson, or some of you can call him Father Dickson. let's just have a conversation with Dickson and let's learn more about him. All right, Dickson. Charlie, how have you?
Oh, see you.
What's up? How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent.
Yeah, welcome to Unscripted with Raygan.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for the opportunity.
Obviously, you can't tell it since. We want to learn from you. We want to know who Dickson is, How do you cash out and things?
This is how they cash out. This is Dickson. I mean, this is Dickson. There's nothing more to it.
Father Dickson. Okay, I mean, we are in February 2024, just 2 months into the year and all that. How has the year been so far? What are the plans for the year? If you could share a few things with us.
I mean, these 2 months have gone by so fast. I'm a lot of people who attest that it's gone by so fast. And it's been good. It's been a great start for me personally. For me, it's been a great start. I know this year is going to be one of my best years yet. It's been an excellent start. And for plans for the year, I mean, we're going to expand. We're going to get bigger and better at what we do at our craft, and even as individuals. So yeah, this year promises to be.
I mean, we spoke to a few guests the last few weeks, and I mean, some of them kind of like do, this whole goals thing. I'm not sure what they want to do for the year and all that. Do you do something like that, or they just?
Oh no. I mean, even scripture says that we should write down
the vision.
The vision. So it's very important because, I mean, as long as you are seeing it, you become it.
Okay.
So if whatever goal you have, whatever vision you have, it's important you pen it down, so that, because if it's in your head, you're likely to forget.
True.
And if you do forget, at the sight of it, you remember that that you're in a particular path.
True.
So yeah, I do write it down. It's very important.
Nice. We'll be waiting for December to see if we're able to accomplish everything.
Oh yeah. After
checking some of them.
Checking some off already. So
I think one guest that we brought to, he was like, his goals from 2015, he's still doing it, so he just freestyled the year and all that. But I mean, I agree with the point you made. Sometimes, if you have everything here, you forget it. So once you write it down, and it's sometimes interesting, you write it down and you don't go back to look at it, but then it's like, maybe some months later, you're going to be like, oh, this thing I wanted to do, I've done it.
Yeah,
I agree with that point.
Yeah.
Okay, Unscripted, random conversation. Just to, take a little bit, dive into your life. Definitely not personal, but then, who is Dickson, where you started from? You're a filmmaker, right? You tell us what are some of the things you do and all that. Maybe somebody they watch, he wants to, get into that field. So more like giving us the blueprint you use for your life to the point you are and all that. So who is Kwesi Dickson?
Kwesi Dickson is a young male. Yeah, but yeah, so Kwesi Dickson, I am Kwesi Dickson. And for where I started, I mean, what I do. So, I was born and raised in Tema. There, I lived, I think, up until about 2 years ago, I was a Tema boy. So, I was born and raised in Tema. I did my DHS primary in Tema. Then for senior high, I went to the best school in the world. I mean, you can argue with your phones. That's your problem. Yeah, I went to the best school in the world. That's Achimota School.
What I was expecting to hear, that's not what I heard, but okay.
I went to Achimota School. I read science. So I did biology, geography, biology, chemistry, physics, elective maths. Then I continued to Ghana Telecom to do telecommunications engineering. Okay. So on paper, I always say that on paper, I'm a telecommunications engineer. Yeah, but let's see what the Lord will do concerning that.
You put the certificates for better than that.
Yeah, they did one side. Yeah. I don't even think I haven't even gone for it.
Yeah, me too.
So I read telecommunications engineering in Ghana Telecom. But so the funny thing is, when I was younger, I wanted to be a marine engineer because I was named after my father's elder brother. So he's a marine engineer, he's a captain. So I mean, I saw how he went and came, he was gone for long. So I was like, I was young, so I was like, I like this life. So I wanted to be a marine engineer. Then there was one time he told me something. He said, marine engineer is a foolish job. Oh. So if it's something I'm considering, I should jam my eye. Yeah. So then I was like, okay, then let me reconsider it. So I think that's when the desire for telecommunications came in.
Okay.
So I settled to do telecommunications engineering. Or at least that's what I thought I was going to do. So level 100 came by. Level 200. Then in level 300, there was something off about the whole thing. I was like, because in the beginning, I was passionate. I was making moves around telecommunications. Yeah, I mean, everything we could hear about it. By level 300, there was this disconnect. So I was like, what's going on? I mean, during those times, so I was trying to figure out what exactly I wanted to do and all that. Then there was a need in my former church where, so a friend of mine brought a camera to church one time. I remember it so well. It was a conference. So he brought a camera to church and he didn't know anything about the camera. I didn't know anything about the camera. But they were like, well, let's take pictures. Because at that time, I mean, that was something we were doing in my former church. Okay. So he went around, took some pictures, terrible pictures. I took the camera. Also went around, even more terrible. Because we didn't know anything about the camera. All we knew, because we had seen people pick up camera, so we thought that was all there was to it. So we're like, okay. And one thing about me is, I hate not to figure something out, not to know something. It's I'll go and look at it right now. So from that day, I said, you know what? I'll figure this thing out. And the next time I hold this camera,
you'll be taking nice pictures.
We'll get something we can use. So it was a Sunday. So I spent the week on YouTube. I was watching YouTube back to back. So I came to church the following Sunday, very prepared that today I'm going to take pictures. But he didn't bring the camera.
Oh.
He didn't bring the camera. And I was like, oh. But that didn't stop me. There was this, I don't know, but if anytime you're trying to acquire new knowledge or knowledge about something, there's always this excitement.
Yeah, the fun of it.
The fun of it in the beginning. So I was like, I needed to keep the flame burning. I needed to keep the fire burning. So the second week too, I was on YouTube back to back.
This time you didn't have a camera?
I didn't have a camera. Oh, I didn't.
Just watching videos.
I was just watching videos. And the phone too, I wasn't even using any correct phone. I didn't have a camera. I was just watching videos. Videos of things that at the time didn't even look like I would do. Yeah. Like, I mean, I was looking at the wildest cameras that existed at the time. And this was me who didn't even have a basic DSLR. And the camera we're even using, there was a Nikon something, some very old camera. So I was just watching videos. Then the following Sunday, he actually brought the camera. So he brought the camera there now. That was my first hands-on practical session after watching YouTube. So now at that time, I had an idea of what ISO is. I had an idea of what aperture is. I had an idea of what shutter speed is. So I just had to play around with the settings and I think I got pretty much, or at least better than the very first one. Yeah, I got some pretty nice pictures. So that's where it started. And like I said, there was a need, because there was a need in the church, which was, we needed media personnel.
Okay.
And even I was in the the teens church at the time, and the main church needed the media personnel.
Okay.
So because I was able to, in a span of 2 weeks, take somewhat good pictures. I didn't have to go through the normal graduation as we do. They said I should join the main church media team. So I joined, and yeah. And that's where it all started. Even at some point I became the head of the team. Yeah. So it's so from there, that was just photography.
Right.
At the time, I did know that there was video. Maybe in my mind I knew something like video, but it was photography that I was doing. So I was taking pictures in church, editing on my old laptop, some Dell Inspiron 15 or something, black. I remember my dad had gotten me at the time. So all this was in level 300. So now what I was doing is, I wasn't staying on campus as much. So you find me and level 300 had a very good class rep who was able to move our classes to Monday and Tuesday.
Oh, so you had the rest of the week.
My weekend started on Wednesday. So Wednesday to Sunday, I'm back at home, probably shooting something for church. So that's where it began. Then on and on and on and on and on. Then I think someone directed me to, or advised that, since there's something that looks like I'm very interested in, I should find someone online, because he didn't even know anybody who was doing it. But I should find someone online and tag along with the person so that I could pick up a thing or two, at least on the professional front. And during this time, I didn't even think I was going to make a profession out of this.
Yeah, you were just doing it for the fun.
I was just doing it for the fun. And because there was a need
at
the space I found myself in. So I just wanted to acquire the information and solve the need, get pictures for church, and we move. So I got one photographer on Instagram. Google got it for Mauli.
Okay.
I got one photographer on Instagram who I think I'd met. Okay, so I'd seen his profile. I think I'd followed him also. Then miraculously that Saturday, I was following this gentleman who brought the camera to church to a wedding.
And you met Efo.
Then I met Efo Mauli there. So I met Efo Mauli there. Oh, we exchanged contacts, we spoke. And he lived just about 10 minutes away from my place too.
Oh, wow.
So like everything had just fallen in place. So now this was me following Efo Mauli. Anybody who's done photography, there's one thing you do. We call it light bending. You hold lights. So in the beginning, I was holding lights. I was just following. I still didn't have access to a camera. Unless Sundays, which was a very old camera. So I was still following. Then as I was following, I was exposed to the other possibilities
within that field.
Within the space. I saw wedding videography. I saw wedding films. Like, oh, okay. So wedding films caught my eye. I was like, okay, let me find out what exactly happens there. So then I went back to YouTube. I started watching videos. I was still following for photography at the same time. I was doing both. So I started watching wedding filmmakers. Then I was like, okay, this is something I want to do. Not necessarily wedding filmmaking, but film in general, motion.
Oh,
because
right.
I realized that, okay, I actually liked video than photos. But I didn't stop photography immediately. I still went on because I still needed to gather the principles of photography
to apply.
Is the same for video. If you know anything about photography, it's easy to transition to video. So I still stay with photography. I was just doing videography study as part-time. As and when I got the chance, those people I could reach out to. Then I met one, I didn't meet, but I came across a channel on YouTube, D for Darius.
Okay.
He does short films. And his contents were intriguing, like they were interesting. So I remember I spent like 2 weeks just on his channel. I was watching. I've watched every video on his channel.
And at that point, you still didn't have a camera.
Oh. There's a camera story I'll even tell. Probably, I'm sure the conversation will come up. I still didn't have a camera, but I watched every video. I've watched every video on his channel. And I could say now he's one of the YouTubers who has helped me in terms of the kind of craft I put out there. Yeah, I watched every video on his channel. So I developed a liking for film too. Yeah, so I said, okay, I would want to shoot my first film. First film. So, I mean, I spoke to a few friends. I spoke to a lady friend of mine, his sponsor, who was good with writing. So I was like, this is the idea I have. I don't like to write scripts. It's not a strength I have. So I told her that I can show you how to write a professional script. Bring up the idea. Or I can even give you the idea, break it down into a professional script. Let's write. Then that's how I shot my first short film. No curves than edges.
Where can we find it?
It's on YouTube. It's on my YouTube channel. Actually. Okay. I think I'm not getting it right. It's either no curves than edges or no edges than curves. One of them.
We'll find it and add it.
So that's how I shot my first. And during this time, I still didn't have a camera.
That means you borrowed one.
Yeah, I borrowed a camera to shoot that short film. So that's been my journey. And since there's just been more adding on to film. I mean, if the knowledge on filmmaking, on videography, and all that. So that's been my journey.
So what do you think watching those videos? Because I don't think I would watch a video on something if I don't have the equipment to do it.
So that is the thing. That is the thing. I don't even know what I was thinking at the time. I don't know what I was thinking at the time, but I always tell people who come around me who want to learn that what we do is, the tree will say, is insan wejuma. Like, you need to practice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for it. But recently I put out a video that said that when you constantly watch, or learning a skill goes beyond just the initial stages of understanding the thing. Because obviously you have something long term in mind. So until you get the gear or whatever gadget you need, what should you be doing in the interim? I'm going to say, because I don't have a camera, I'm going to sit and wait till I get a camera. That doesn't make any sense, because by the time you probably get a camera, you will be far behind. A lot of things would have happened.
But then if you started watching the videos, you would have the knowledge to...
Yeah, start with what you have, because then at the end of the day, you build a repository of information. You have a bank of stuff. Up to now, there are things I watched when I started that come to me probably on a shoot that apply up to now.
So I guess it happens. Yeah. Even in the design, I think every other photo is the same concept.
Yeah, up to now.
So we're just feeding yourself that.
Yes. Some didn't even make sense at the time. Yeah. Some were, like I said, they were far-fetched. Like gimbal. Like, let me drone. Like,
Where are you going to get?
But you see, funny enough, the first time I flew a drone professionally and was paid for, I mean, a service I was paid for, was the first time I flew a drone.
Oh, wow.
I never practiced flying a drone.
But then you had watched the videos.
I'd watch videos of different drones, how to set it up, how to fly there.
So now when you get it, you just apply that same knowledge.
So the first time somebody read out like they wanted a drone, blah, blah, I said I can do it. I charged the person money. I went there, I flew the drone, they loved the images. So it's very important that in as much as you might not necessarily have access to gadgets or whatever device or whatever platform you need, just
consume it. Yeah.
The brain has a very wonderful way of returning memory retention. Like, just put it in there. Just put it in there. It will come out when you need it. I don't know how it works, but it will come out when you need it most. It will come out.
That's very interesting. So currently, I mean, you're a filmmaker, right? What goes into it? If we say filmmaking,
we make films. It's a lot. So currently, I do DPing. That's we call director of photography.
Please, I'm a beginner. I'm not come to learn videography. So
film. So so what you call a director of photographer, or probably what, it's not an accurate representation, but I mean, for the benefit of it's what we call a cameraman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. On a film set, we have a DOP, that's a director of photo, and we have a cameraman.
Right.
Yeah. Their roles are not so different from each other. Yeah, but so I DP. That's what we call it. I shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put it. I shoot. I direct.
Mm-hmm.
I edit.
Okay.
And I color. Now I've started coloring.
Okay, so there's editing and then coloring.
There's editing and there's
editing still coloring.
No. An editor can color, but coloring. I've come to realize. I started learning coloring seriously last year.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've come to realize that coloring is an entire world. It's even though it's still under the umbrella of editing or filmmaking, coloring in itself is a world on its own. So I edit and I color, but I think I like to edit more. Maybe too because I just started coloring, but like I did for all the other skills prior. Mm-hmm. I'm on videos.
Just continue. Do you think it's something that somebody can say, me, I don't want to do anything, I just want to edit? Or, because I know sometimes, you shoot yourself and then you edit yourself. Does it influence the direction you go with the editing?
Yes, it does. But there are people who are editors.
So they don't have to shoot or anything?
There are people who don't shoot, they edit.
So I can just pick that up as a career?
Yes. But I tell people I train that to be a better editor, you should know how to shoot.
Okay.
It goes either way. And to be a better shooter, you should know how to edit, especially for the latter. Okay. Because you find situations where all you do is shoot. When you shoot, you have just one perspective on what you've done. It's only at the bench that you can tell that this shot that I did, it works or it doesn't work. Sometimes you can get a killer shot during production. You sit down at the editing bench and it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit into what you want to do. So you find out people want to force the video into the, but it just doesn't fit. So to be a better shooter, you should at least edit so that you know that you don't repeat the same thing, because in your mind probably this shot works,
right?
But the editor is the one who can tell you that it doesn't. So rather do it this way. And so to be a better shooter, you should not necessarily be a full-time editor, but you should edit. And to be a better editor, a good editor too, you should also shoot as well. Yeah. Okay.
So I tell people that me on this show, I'm so many things. Today, I'm a beginner who wants to learn videography. Right? Yeah. Where do I start from? For yours, definitely you taught yourself following F.O. Maoli, that's the name, and all that. Where do I start from? What do I need to do? Maybe you can give some resources that, okay, get this, do that, do this. What? So that I can also start from.
I call it YouTube University. The UTC. There's too much information out there.
True.
There's so much information that sometimes you might even chance on the wrong thing.
True.
There's also that aspect of it. And now, with filmmaking and videography, as you put it, there are quite a number of us around.
Okay.
So if you really want to learn, all you need to do is ask questions. Someone will direct you to the right place. He might not be the one to teach you, but he will direct you to the right place. Because YouTube has everything.
There's a world on its own.
YouTube has everything you need. It has everything you need. So I'll say start with YouTube.
Okay.
Whether you have the gear or not, start with YouTube. And practice. Secondly, practice. Find means and ways to practice what you are watching.
At this point, it means that I have to have the gear.
You don't necessarily have to own it.
Okay.
You should have access to a gear.
Okay.
You should have. In my journey, I've had people who have had cameras that I've befriended because they had cameras. Yeah. Oh yes. Find a way. It's important. Find a way, like you say. Find someone who has bread.
If you don't know someone who has bread, find someone who knows someone
who has bread. Find it. So it's important. Find people who have access to gear, and once in a while, you don't have to go and collect it. Go there. When it's there, they'll feel comfortable that it's still within their reach. Yeah. Then play with it. Practice. Because there are some, because what we do falls under art, there are some skill sets that you will pick up only when you practice. Okay. There are some mistakes you make only when you practice. And those mistakes will never leave you.
What are some of the skill sets that we are looking at?
So, for example, the first time I shot a wedding, this is very simple. But the first time I shot a wedding, I'd rented the gear, I'd rented everything. I was excited. So I had my camera. I remember it was a 35 I was using at the time. Then, no, it wasn't the wedding. It was the pre-wedding. Yeah, the pre-wedding video. So it was the 35 lens I had on the camera at the time. So, I'll look at the picture. The picture wasn't really clear. I couldn't tell what it was. I'll look in front of the lens. It's clean. It's clean. The screen is clean. So in my mind, I'm like, maybe it's the screen or the camera. When I put it on a laptop, it won't look like that. So I went ahead. I continued like that. I shot like that. Like I said, at the time I was a novice. I was excited about shooting a wedding. I posed them, did what I could do. So when we're done shooting, I was now dismantling the camera, packing it up. So then I opened the lens. For some reason, I just looked behind.
Oh. And
there was a big thumbprint behind the glass. I mean, you wouldn't see it looking at it from the front. So, and I couldn't tell them that.
I have a question after this, but
I couldn't tell them let's shoot it again. So up to now, those who work with me, up to now, if I take a lens, the first thing
you're looking at it.
I look at both ends. It's just like again, there are some mistakes you make as on your journey that would live with you.
Yeah, the experience.
Yeah, they'll influence a lot of things. They'll teach you. So up to now, if I pick up a lens, know that I'll look at both ends. If it's even clean, I'll still wipe it.
Someone's wedding. That was a question I was going to.
It was a pre-wedding. I mean, it's still a big deal.
Yes.
Because he paid. I mean, they paid me for it.
How did they get the pictures?
Oh, I.
Or they didn't notice.
So that's the thing about art. The thing about art is that the artist is the only one who see their mistake, or a fellow artist.
Sure.
But clients usually appreciate the little things. It could be
very. Just find a way
basic. Oh, you do it black and white. It's nice.
Because my question was, okay, you said I should practice. Now let's say I've got the camera. I started practicing, following someone around, learning and all that. Then I've not shot a wedding before. Then I get the first wedding gig. It's huge. I mean, in the design field, it's not so risky because, okay, you bring me the design. If I do it and it's not nice,
it can
take your money and then give it to somebody else. But here's the case, it's a wedding. Yeah. You're not coming to do the wedding again.
Yeah.
It's risky to, if you ask me.
Yeah. That's why it's important to find yourself in the community of whatever specialty you want to do. If it's a wedding, find yourself in that community where volunteer to help people who are already doing it. Okay. Because before I shot my first wedding, I had followed people around. I had seen how, and at the time I was shooting my first wedding, it was photography I was doing.
Oh.
I didn't even delve into video like that. I mean, I knew of it, but I didn't delve into it. It was photography, but I took full picture and video. I told her I can do it. I remember it was one senior man, I call him senior man. One senior man, friend of mine, who actually put in a word for me to the couple that, I've been training craft for 6 months. I've gone to school for it. He actually yobbed the couple for me. Yeah, he yobbed the couple for me. I call him Brian. I mean, he's one of the people who has played very key, vital roles in my journey. He's been an amazing supporter since I started. So he yobbed the clients for me, and they gave me the job, and I didn't charge small. I took big money.
Someone else is the first time. No. And you went to even do a mistake.
Yeah. And it's a way, it's a confidence. Yeah. The way I'll say the thing. And moreover, they are told them that
you have
I have the skill set. I have the know-how. So I charge big, and it came out up to now. Recently, I came across those pictures. Of course, I'll do better
than that
now, but it's someone's best. It's someone's best.
True.
Even now, it's still someone's best. So that's and all this is because I took every opportunity I could get from the YouTube and from practicing, following people and practicing.
Following people, that's one thing people usually don't. Because I think one time you said this proverb in Key that something that an old man or something like that is see standing or sitting, a kid cannot see when he's standing. And that's true. Yes. Someone with 10 years experience can spot, like you were saying, that something. Now it has taught you something.
I don't even think I've not been to film school before, but I don't think it's something they will even teach you in film school.
No, look at the back of
the back.
Yeah.
Maybe it is, but I just don't think it is. It's an experience that you will learn on the job.
True.
That would inform you that you would have to be extra careful with lenses moving forward.
That's true. Okay, so I mean, I'm still learning photography, videography. We've looked at some of the things to do, and what are, like, I don't know if they are particular, maybe, let me give an example, maybe in a design, somebody asked me, okay, Raygan, I want to start design. What should I look out for? What basics should I have? Like, oh, learn layout, learn color, learn typography, this and this. In photography, videography, like you were saying, they are almost close to similar. What are some of the fundamental things I need to look at or focus on? Okay,
so first of all, you need to understand the tool you are working with.
Okay.
Which is the camera. And there are elements or there are functions here, that's the word. There are functions of the tool that affects the image you produce. So for example, we have what we call the exposure triangle. It, like I said, it applies for photography and video. Maybe for video, there's another step you need to consider. But we have what we call the exposure triangle. We have the ISO, we have the aperture, we have the shutter speed. This form the triangle because these functions influence the image. They influence how exposed it will look, how clean it will look. I mean, these functions influence that. Then there's a fourth function which affects these three functions, which is light.
Okay.
Whether it's natural light or it's artificial light. So all these three the first three, that's aperture, ISO, shutter speed, they relate with light. To produce your images. So like I said, you first of all have to understand the tool you are working with, understand the individual functions, how they interact with each other. You should understand them individually and understand how they interact with each other with respect to light to produce the whatever image you want to produce. Now, secondly, too, it's important that you have a memory bank of creative ideas.
Good.
You have a memory bank of creative ideas because now you can understand your tool, but what are you using it for?
Right.
What are you using the understanding for? You should look out to one of the things that help a lot is breakdown videos. So what I mean by breakdown videos is a commercial will probably be shot. Then someone will do a video of how it was shot. Okay. That's one of those are the kind of videos that would really open up your mind, because sometimes you see a video and you are thinking too far.
Yeah.
But videos are just images put together. It's just frame by frame images put together. So if you're able to, I was telling one of my students yesterday that there's no video I can't break down. When I see, I can tell you how they achieved it.
Okay.
Yeah, because that process, if you're able to master that process, you can produce any video at all. You can produce, provided the client tells you, I want this. In your mind, quickly, you're able to tell how you are going to achieve it. So it's important that you build a memory bank of creative ideas, and watch things.
A lot.
Feed your eyes. Feed your, of course, on the right things, but feed your eyes. Feed your eyes and feed your ears. Your ears is equally very important.
Feed your ears for.
So there's something I said. There's something that Steven said that audio is half the viewing experience.
True.
So let's picture this. You can have an old-looking video, black and white even.
Yeah.
But if the audio is good, you can sit there and watch the full movie.
I agree.
You can have a very clean-looking image. If the audio is bad, you can't watch past 5 minutes. So audio is half the viewing experience. Okay. For something to please you visually, the sound, what you hear should be equally pleasing. Yeah. So feed your ears, feed your eyes. These two, I mean, these points are, I think.
And this will just come by just watching more.
Yeah, it will come by just watching more. And why do you want to? There's no need reinventing the wheel.
I agree.
There's absolutely
so many nice.
There's absolutely no need. See, there's no need. in the creative space, if I dare say me in design, I'm not a designer.
Oh yeah, that one is true. It's just a remix of everything.
Yes, there's no need. Don't start thinking that you want to do something different. Of course, as time goes on, you tend to create a niche.
Yeah, and then have your way.
And have your way, which you can improve upon. But when you're starting, go for available material. That's where it starts. What is available? Go for that. Feed on that. Because it's even based on that you can know what you can do with what already exists.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think recently I was doing a video with Michael, our production manager, right? And I can't position the camera. Oh, yeah. Very nice. And I was like, make it come with the film because I'm still trying to learn this whole thing. I've started learning editing and all that. He came and he did something different. And then I was asking myself,
why didn't you see?
Yeah, why didn't I position the camera the way he came to position it? Then later I realized that now this thing is just comes from experience.
Yeah.
Because later on, when I see it, I come to, okay, this one is no good. Before I would have done it, because if I showed that to me, my mother or sister, they'll be like, oh, this is nice.
This is nice.
But then someone with the eyes comes and sees, and then like, sometimes they bust my brain, because I'm like, why is this person taking this picture? And then when you're taking videos, sometimes I'm just watching you. Like, I want to understand how the mind is working.
Process. It's a sixth sense. It's a sixth sense in the sense that it's like a muscle. Mm-hmm. So you see, the creative mind is actually a muscle. Mm-hmm. The more you feed it, the more it builds up. The more you feed it, the more it builds up. The more you feed, the more it builds up. So someone who has built up a particular muscle for a period X amount, let's say 5 years, can do things that someone who has probably built this for 6 months.
Because sometimes you do this without even thinking.
Oh yes, it's like a sixth sense. When I pick, so there's another thing that I developed over time. Mm-hmm. Like I said, there are 3 functions of the tool we use, the camera. There's the ISO, there's the aperture, there's the shutter speed. When I enter a room or when I take a camera for photography, I enter a space. Looking at the light, just by seeing the lights, the lighting situation in the space, I can just set my camera one time, take a picture, and it works. Even with the flash power.
Wow.
That's another, even I can just set, it's something I trained myself to do. I can just look back and it will work. It won't be overexposed, it won't be underexposed. Maybe sometimes it'll be plus one, minus one error, but 99% of the time it works. And this is because I've trained that muscle over the years. I mean, I've not been doing this for a long time. Honestly, if I tell you, I've not been doing
How many years?
I don't think it's about 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I've not been doing this for a long time. But that's the thing. If I set my mind to do something, I go all out. Anything that I said, if I say I will do it.
So it's just from the experience and you just feeding yourself the right thing.
Just feeding yourself. And there's always new information. Or there's even old information that somebody has recycled. Go and look at how they recycled it. There's always something.
But when it comes to, for design, I feel like it's almost the same, like what you're saying about the sixth sense. It's the same in design. Something that maybe from where I'm sitting, if I see it, okay, like this, I'll do it this way. A beginner will probably not see that. But when it comes to photography, videography, how do you make sure you're staying on top of your game at every point in time, right? And is there a point where, definitely there'll be that point, but do you think, I don't know how to ask the question, but do you think videography, okay, let me put it this way. Again, I'll use design to explain it. When it comes to design, if I do a design and a different design, I say, oh, this is not good, or maybe this in terms of functionality-wise, I can back whatever it is by maybe data, research, and all that. Yeah. And if it's visuals, we can test it and see. Is there something like that in the sense in videography, photography, or it's based off your eyes?
So there's a challenge. There's a challenge. Is it a challenge? There's something in our space. That's what video and photography. That especially most beginners, at some point, I think I had the same issue. Well, most beginners face. That is, they produce for fellow creatives. Okay. What I mean by that is that he's taking a picture and his concern is not that my client likes it. That's not his concern. His concern is, does this other photographer like it? But that shouldn't be the issue. The issue should be the customer you're servicing, the customer you're rendering the service to. Okay. If the customer likes it, that's it. Of course, there are technicalities to the craft. To every craft, there are technicals, there are principles that have to be obeyed. The thing about photography, and I'm sure it's also same for design, is that when you break these rules and principles, and it works in the sense that the image looks nice, everybody's happy. Nobody even sees that you've broken the rule.
True.
That's it. But when you break the rule and it doesn't work, everybody will come for you. Everybody will come for you. So when it has to do with the technical bits, the principles and the rules surrounding the technicalities, it's important you know them. Because to be able to even break them correctly, you should understand them to break it.
Okay.
It's important you know them. And you can only know them, especially based on how most of us learn, which is YouTube. You can know them by constantly watching YouTube and also by feedback from other. Feedback is good. Feedback is very, very good. It should help you. If you can't take feedback, then there's a problem. Feedback is very, very, very good. Whether it's constructive or is
hurtful, whatever
whichever one it is. I believe they all have a part to play. Yeah, they all have a part to play. Feedback is very good. So in the long run, what you should rather seek to do is understand the rules, the technicalities surrounding what you are doing, the craft you are learning. Understand them first. And when you understand them, then you will be able to feel free and go outside of the box, break it anyhow. And but man, it has to make sense. If it doesn't, it will come for you. So usually, I can't, even for people I teach, I don't know how to, maybe I'll use the word criticize. I don't know how to criticize their work if it's from a creative background. Because creatively, we are all different.
Thinking differently,
Yes. But if it's a rule you've broken, that one I'll draw attention to it. Now, that's not how it's done. It should be. But the creative process, I leave it because I've shot baller before. And it's the baller I shot. It all forms part of my journey.
Exactly what I was going to say. You just get better with time.
So
you learn from it.
You know where you're coming from.
That's true. Okay, so filmmaking, we've looked at photography and all that. I'm trying to still remember some of these. We talk about shutter speed,
aperture,
ISO.
Then the fourth I said is
lightning. Okay. Are there other key things? I mean, you mentioned being director of photography, being
an editor
and all that. Are there other key things that forms who a filmmaker is in terms of when the final work is coming out?
I think another thing that forms would be soft skills.
Okay.
Soft skills that are necessarily not directly
tied to
what you do. That's photography or video, which is human relations skills.
Right.
It's too important. That part is too important. You need patience.
I heard this thing that when video editors are done and they send in, they like change the music. You're noisy people.
Do you know what it means for me to change the music? What that means is that I have to re-edit the entire thing. That's what it means. I mean, if you are watching me, this is what you've never done that to someone. That's what it means. That I should change I should re-edit the entire.
I mean, we might feel experienced in video editing. I've come to understand that because sometimes you want the scene to change based on the beats in the music.
That's how we edit. We edit to the beat. We cut to the beat.
Yeah.
So if I cut to, let's say, 88 BPM, an 88 BPM song with a particular genre, a particular mood, particular theme and vibe, then now you come and say I should change the music to something that's probably faster or slower or different vibe, different mood. Then now,
because first off, music is half the
viewing experience. Yeah. So filmmakers and videographers who get annoyed, they just replace it and they export for you. Yeah.
They don't pay attention.
Don't do anything about it. Because knowing very well that he's not going to post what he sent to you.
He'll post the one he did.
Yes, because to build up recently, one of my guys was watching Chris Do. I mean, I entered and I chanced on it, and he said something that he doesn't know what design school people went to, but you don't have to add the final product you give to the client to your portfolio. You can add what you did and appreciated. That this is my work. I like this one. That is what should go on your portfolio.
That's what I do in design.
Yes.
When I design something, I feel like, now this is good, and maybe the client make certain changes that maybe make it a little bit. I'm like, nah, I have a duplicate of that. Yes. So even when I'm working, designers will understand I have two files. Yeah. The one the client is seeing and the one I'm working on. Because I don't want it to come and
offset.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. So you just change the song. You put your new song and I export for you. Then use it.
Sometimes
you even take off his logo.
Oh wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, so I mean, soft skills like how to human relation is very important. Communication is equally important. You should know how to speak to communicate your ideas.
Yeah.
Because there's some creatives who have a lot of ideas but struggle to communicate it. And when you're unable to communicate your ideas to either your muse, your client, your model, then how do we then achieve? It just pops up in your head. So you need very good communication skills. I mean, all these are things that you could develop.
Yeah, on the job.
Yeah, all these are things that you could develop on the job. So,
okay. I mean, we are wrapping up, but then monetization. So quick, just to touch on that bit, and then maybe we'll look at how some of these videographers work. I don't know if people do things like full time and all that, but in terms of monetization, how is it like? I mean, for design, maybe I can't speak on that, but in terms of people, how is charging like? How is so that if I finish music, I can charge some of the big. Pricing
is an important conversation. Not just in video and photo, but in the creative, way, because we don't. There are no.
There's no specific formula.
Yes, unlike maybe you enter a banking space, telestic,
and they have
no. It's not like that. A painting that cost maybe $2 million 10 years ago can cost 20. So the question is who plays value? I mean, how and why did the value increase? I mean, it's based on who is coming for it, and also who is giving it out. I mean, these two come to it. So price is a very important subject, and I can't give you specifics because there's not a one formula fits all situation.
So do you charge based on the workload or your experience? Something?
Everything put together. For me, pricing, anybody who has worked with me would know. There's even one project we are trying to secure now. When we started the conversation, the girl was like, how much would it cost? I said, we've not gotten there yet.
Yeah, relax. Tell us about everything.
Yes, and because I'm more interested in the value I'm giving you than the money you're giving me.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, I'm a solution bringer. I solve problems. Even though it's with visuals, with film and content, I solve problems. Because the only reason why you're coming to me is because you think that whatever I will produce for you will help your business.
Yeah.
So I solve problems. So I want to be sure I can solve your problem. First of all, I want to be sure I can solve your problem. How I can solve the problem.
Okay.
Then I can tell you how much it will cost to solve your problem.
Okay.
So pricing for me, I mean, there are different rule of thoughts to it. Yeah. I think there was a time I watched a video. The person was like, right from the beginning, mention your price so that if you do it. I don't subscribe to that.
What happens to such people is if you mention it, you might either overcharge or undercharge after even listening to the person.
Yes. And so I was telling someone recently that never let a client force you to mention a price. Tell them you will get back to them. All the time, if you mention the price there, like you said, you either undercharge. If you overcharge, that's the bad.
That's your part.
But most of the time you undercharge. You undercharge. So I always seek to ask questions. Why?
Okay.
What? Do you have reference videos? All these come together to inform how much I should charge. So it's not maybe when there's a specific situation I can advise with specifics.
I feel like the part of the career we find ourselves in, like you said, there's no specific formula. So someone maybe with the same experience at Dickson, the same work quality, might charge a little bit lower than what you are giving.
Yeah.
And that's very interesting.
Yeah. There are people who probably do, who are better at what I do, but don't charge as much.
As much as, it comes to confidence too as well.
Yeah.
Because some people are scared of mentioning figures.
Yeah, I was there once. You've
been there myself, yeah.
I'll be there.
Because at that point, you're like, what if I mention this and they run away? What if I mention it?
I think that also boils down to, like I said, it boils down to value. If you know the value I'm giving the person, of course, there are some people. Recently, I put out a post about free job.
Yeah.
I mean, every creative will do free job. Up to now, I do free jobs.
Yeah.
So you can't run away from that and say that, oh, media, now I'm charging $10 billion no matter the job. No, it's work specific, and you have to also be malleable in the sense that you should be able to bend.
For some,
yes, because sometimes, of course, some clients will say that they'll put you on
exposure.
Please. Of course, there are some that would actually give you the exposure. Yeah. So it's a mindset. Mm-hmm. Money shouldn't be the motivating factor.
Yeah.
No. Money shouldn't be the motivating factor. If money is, then there's a problem. If money is, then you lose sight of what you're actually offering the client, which is value, which is a solution to their problem. So money shouldn't be the motivating factor. But you also have to make money from what you do. Yeah. So pricing
I think monetization is a very interesting topic. We'll look at it.
It's big. Yeah. It's big. Maybe I'll do a master class someday about
I'll join. Yeah. Okay, so for someone watching, and including myself who is a beginner, maybe now I'm going to take a camera and all that, one career advice you would give us? I mean, for 4 years, you definitely learned something that you move with.
I think don't stop learning. Mm-hmm. You face challenges. Challenges will come. Holy Ghost. Challenges will come, but don't stop learning. I remember, I don't know if I have time to share the story.
You can share it.
So when I started, like I said, make friends with someone, people who have access to what you need. So I made a friend with a fellow filmmaker who had a camera. Mm-hmm. So I had an event, and I asked for his camera. He gave it to me. I went, shot with the camera. Everything was okay. I went home. The following day, we were supposed to shoot an event together. So his camera was with me. Then I met him at the event. Mm-hmm. Then the event was about to start. I put on the camera. The camera refused to come on. And this was a camera I used just the day before. Like, Holy Ghost, what will I do? So, I mean, now, bottom line, the camera stopped working. Yeah. The camera was spot. How it got spot? You don't know. Up to now, I don't know how it got spot. So I had to replace the camera I didn't bought for myself. I had to now buy for someone. Wow. So the first camera I bought was not for me.
It was for someone.
I bought a camera for someone. So it was another friend of mine who was also interested in my journey. And when I told him about it, I mean, I've had, wow. So back to the story. Yeah. So it was a friend of mine who, I mean, when I told him about it, he gave me
the money to get me.
I remember he tried to come to his house, gave me his ATM card, gave me his PIN that I should go and give the money to the guy. So, I mean, that's just by the way. But, so that challenge hit me. And
you might be like, I'm not taking a camera again.
This thing, do I really want to do this thing? Maybe this is a sign. This is a sign that, I should stop doing this thing. But you should see challenges as another level for you to develop, for you to grow. Because like I said, as you go on and on, as you improve on yourself, as you learn, there are some experiences that will teach you. They're just there as lessons for you to learn from. And it's important you learn the lesson for which that challenge came.
True.
Or else you repeat the class.
Repeat it again. Yeah.
It's very important to learn the lesson for which that lesson came. So, like I said, constantly learn, constantly improve. Up to now. Recently, I bought a course. Mm-hmm. The learning there, you have to learn.
You never stop.
You have to learn. And the course is expensive.
But it's important. If you know what you want from it, you buy it.
If you know what you want from it. But I know that I have to improve and get somebody to pay for it.
True.
Which will happen very soon. Somebody will pay for that thing, I promise.
Your clients are watching you. Your clients are watching you.
Oh,
but just before I have the same story. I think I forgot what it was I bought. Good. I bought an online course and it was by mistake. I wanted the course, but I was not ready to buy it at that time.
Oh, and you clicked buy now.
And I clicked it and I paid. I think it was like $150, $200. Oh. The next client that came like 2 weeks later, added it to his cost. He paid. I was like, God, I've gotten my money back. And I mean, it all comes down to value. So yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, so and improve on your craft, such that people will come back to you. See, that's the thing that to touch about pricing. It's not really about the amount.
Yeah.
Of course, some clients will come and give you funny figures, but it's not really about the amount. If the person knows that I'm getting value from you, they are willing to pay. Yes, they are willing to pay whatever amount you are charged. Of course, within reasonable range, they are willing to pay whatever amount you are charging them to do their job. So, like I said, money shouldn't be the motivating factor. Making money shouldn't be the motivating factor. Rather, value. What value am I giving these people? And to be able to know the value you give, you yourself should you can't give what you don't have.
True.
So it's important you develop your craft, like develop your skill. Do anything within your means to develop the skill. Watch the videos, practice, ask questions. People who have done what you are trying to do.
Go and ask them questions.
Do self-arrangement.
Yeah, so
I was share. Do self-arrangement. Strategically find out how they are doing it. I do that up to now. There's somebody who I'm doing serious. I don't know if you see this video. I'm doing serious self-arrangement with, and I'm learning a lot just by our interactions. I'm learning. So there was something he said about coloring. That all the coloring videos I've been watching,
they've not said anything like that. Like, but he said something which. And what that also does is, another reason why you should build a memory bank is, one day you hear one thing that opens everything up. Like, it makes everything that makes sense.
Everything immediately
makes sense. Yeah, true.
Everything immediately makes. And he said something that, so I mean, I've talked plenty. But, yeah.
Keep learning, keep improving yourself, do self-arrangement, and then
add value.
Add value.
And,
wow.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a very interesting conversation. I think we have to do it another time. But people who want to come and pay you for the course that you people who want to book the Is Kwesi Dickson, people who want to come and learn, reach out and ask questions. Please, where can they reach out to you? Look at them and then tell them. Yeah,
so my name is Kwesi Dickson. I'm a filmmaker. Now a content creator.
Yeah.
I've started creating content. So I'm a filmmaker, content creator. I edit, I color. And you can find me on Instagram. Kwesi Dickson, KWESIDICKSONN. The N is 2.
Okay.
Yeah, so on that page, you will find my corporate account, you find my portfolio, and you find all the necessary links there to reach out to me. And I mean, I'm starting a film school too. Yeah, I think I'm saying it for the first time. Yeah, so I'm starting a film school too. So yeah, you can reach out to me. Let's collaborate. I believe a lot in collaboration. So let's collaborate and let's make something nice.
They're nice guys. See the way you're smiling at them. Please, not only the ladies for enough. Alright guys, I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this one. The people who want to learn video photography, you can reach out to Dickson and then learn a thing or two. Alright, Dickson, let's do this another time. Thank you for coming.
Definitely, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. It was a nice time. Yeah.